Hello, it's me again in another episode of Cultural Mosaic on VTV International. In our little journey today through various cultural scenes in Vietnam, we will first visit a unique carpentry village in the north, and then we will be able to experience a little bit of Japanese jazz dance scene in our segment of On the Mic. And last but not least, let's enjoy the classic novel Frankenstein right here in Hanoi. So let's start our little journey today with the headlines. Carpentry Village continues the art of constructing traditional architectural houses. Japanese jazz dancers thrill Hanoi audiences as part of the Dance Asia Festival. And Frankenstein brings Gothic tragic comedy to Vietnam. And now let's review the cultural highlights from the last week. Preparation for the 2015 Vietnam's Fine Arts Exhibition and the 2015 Photo Festival for Young Photographers was launched on Monday on a national scale. The event consists of 500 pieces of visual arts on display at the Vietnam Fine Arts Exhibition. Themes include daily life and current affairs. The organizers of the photo competition plan to exhibit about 300 pictures by young photographers aged from 14 to 35. The main theme is about the youth of Vietnam and the development of the country. Now, classical music lovers here in Hanoi now can go to professional concerts more often after an international standard concert hall was recently put into operation next door to the Opera House. We will find out more in the following report.
The Vietnam National Academy of Music aims hopes the new venue should help it appeal to a broader audience.
Chương trình ngày hôm nay cũng là một trong những cái chương trình bắt đầu sắp tới của nhạc viện, là đưa vào hàng tháng những cái chương trình mà giới thiệu đến khán giả thủ đô cũng như khán giả cả nước với những cái chương trình quy mô vừa phải, nghĩa là vừa mang tính chất học thuật nhưng mà cũng vừa mang yếu tố gọi là tiếp cận khán giả một cách nó gần hơn.
Ticket costs $10 to attend recitals at this international standard venue, and classical music lovers are hoping this will help bolster interest in the music.
Không phải dễ có được một phòng hòa nhạc mà không dùng đến trang âm điện tử, mà đây là hoàn toàn đó là âm thanh tự nhiên. Đấy là một cái điều rằng một cái sự bước ngoặt trong cái chúng ta đưa cái nền âm nhạc nghệ thuật chuyên nghiệp của chúng ta lên theo một cái tiêu chuẩn, theo cái hướng của quốc tế.
Thanks to such effort, more people can now enjoy classical music.
Independent filmmakers in Hanoi had a chance to join in a workshop on Tuesday with John Kuiper, production executive of Hollywood blockbusters like The Hobbit, The Great Gatsby, and The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. The event is part of a training course titled Hanoi Spring 2015 for young filmmakers. The course runs from March the 10th until the 17th under the initiative of award-winning Vietnamese director Nguyễn Hoàng Điệp and the sponsorship of the Cultural Exchange and Development Fund, or CDEF, and LESPA. A panel consisting of John Kuiper and famous Vietnamese directors like Đặng Nhật Minh and Bùi Thao Chuyên will send the most promising filmmaker from the event to a training course in Los Angeles in November. The Japanese Yokiza Marionette Theater is scheduled to perform at the Vietnam Puppet Theater in Hanoi this Saturday and Sunday. The free admission program is supported by the Japan Foundation Center for Cultural Exchange in Vietnam. The experimental productions include actor puppet performances in which puppeteer both manipulates puppets and performs as a character himself. Actors also apply pre-modern puppetry techniques and Edo magic lantern visuals. The Yokiza Marionette Theater was founded in 1635 by Yoki Magosaburo and has run for 380 years. It has also recognized as a national important intangible folk cultural property and intangible cultural property of Tokyo. If you want to buy a 100-year-old house in Vietnam now, it is probably very difficult. So why don't you build a new house in similar old style? For a long time, a traditional carpentry village in Hanoi has served many families making such houses. But remember, it may take you up to 2 years and a large amount of money to complete such a work. Let's have a look.
This wooden tomb-inspired house was built more than a year ago. The house was designed by a Vietnamese traditional architect with a structure of 5 compartments and 2 lintels, as well as the motifs of sacred animals in Vietnamese culture, namely the dragon and the phoenix. Đỗ Hùng Quang, the owner of the house, said he had to work with architects and carpenters for 2 years to complete the house. It even took him 7 months to find a suitable wood for the house pillars and several months for the carpenters to finish the carving work.
Để làm được cái nhà này, trước tiên là phải xuất phát từ cái ý tưởng, cái niềm đam mê và cái sở thích của mình. Cái nhà này thì nó phù hợp với một cái điều kiện. Thứ nhất là gia đình có thể là con trưởng, có thể là đại diện cho một cái dòng họ, về vừa tiện lợi trong cái việc sinh hoạt ở là hai bên buồng, và 3 gian ngoài thì vừa làm thờ tự nhưng cũng vừa là nơi để tiếp khách.
Looking at the wooden house like this, do you believe that the architect and the building workers didn't have to use any screws or nails to build it up? Let's join me to visit Phu Yên village in Hanoi, which is specialized in building the houses in old styles, to find out how the carpenters there, doubling as architect, have done this. Learning carpentry from his grandfather and father, Nguyễn Chí Mười in Phu Yên village, Trường Mỹ district, Hanoi, has operated his wood factory for 20 years, specializing in traditional wooden house design and construction that are similarly time-worn. According to Mười, the most crucial process in making traditional style houses is calculating the size and position of different parts in the house before the construction. Instead of making a construction drawing, the traditional method, a long bamboo ruler-like stick that is called mực thước, is used to measure the dimensions of the house.
Thiết kế từ rộng đến hẹp, từ cao đến thấp, và toàn bộ ngôi nhà là cái mực thước quyết định tới 100%. Thì mực thước là cổ truyền từ xưa nay rồi. Thì là từ các cụ từ không biết bao nhiêu đời nay là làm toàn bộ là dùng cho mực thước hết. Chứ bọn tôi chủ yếu là được các cụ truyền lại từ mực thước, cho nên là các cụ không dạy về cái thiết kế như bây giờ.
The frame of the house is built up by assembling the pillars and rafters together without using any adhesive materials. Preparing the wood blocks and creating the joints are therefore essential processes that will decide the stability and durability of the house. And this stage of preparation is called sàm đóng.
Riêng cái khâu sàm đóng là một cái đòi hỏi kỹ thuật rất là cao. Nếu mà anh không sàm đóng tốt, không theo được mực thước thì lên ngôi nhà nó linh tinh, nó bị hỏng, nó loạn mực mất. Quan trọng nhất là cái anh sàm đóng phải hiểu được mực thước. Những người sàm đóng được ít nhất là cũng phải có tay nghề tầm khoảng từ 20 năm mới sàm đóng tốt được. Còn có những người làm đến 3-4 năm sàm đóng nó không ra thế nào.
Each Vietnamese traditional styled wooden house is characterized by the patterns and shapes reflecting the age-old culture. Nguyễn Trọng Cầm is an experienced old-style house architect in Phu Yên village. He said, The patterns on the wooden structure often include images of sacred animals in Vietnamese belief, such as the dragon, unicorn, turtle, and phoenix. He adds that the motifs must not be arbitrarily used. Based on the certain patterns selected, the carpenters can come up with their own style of carving to decorate the house. However, they have to follow certain principles of decoration in Vietnamese culture.
Đây là cái bồn hiên, cũng có nơi ở mình đây gọi là bồn hiên, nhưng cũng có nơi gọi là cốn hiên. Đó. Thì coi như là cái bồn hiên này cho các cháu nó đục, cho anh em thợ đục như là cây thông, gọi là cây tùng, đấy gọi là long hóa tùng. Đấy, đục như này thì coi như là cái đầu con rồng này, đầu con rồng hóa này quay vào trong nhà. Tất cả con vật đều quay vào trong nhà hoặc đều quay vào gian giữa, quay đầu vào gian giữa hoặc quay đầu vào gian trong nhà. Đây là đúng theo lề lối là như thế.
Currently, Phu Yên Village has more than 100 carpentry factories, but only 10 households can build such traditional houses, as the job requires a large number of high-quality carpenters. The increasing demand for wooden houses that follows traditional principles now is seen as a good condition for the locals to gain good income and preserve the long-standing handicraft of the village.
You're tuning into Culture Mosaic, our weekly journal featuring the rich cultural diversity of the nation. We hope to become a bridge that connects audience and their work to our viewers out there. So don't go away, we have a lot more in this week's installment coming up for you in just a moment. Memorable moment. A Japanese jazz dance group has made a name for themselves, impressing audiences worldwide with their uniform movements and unique vision. The group raised the stage in Hanoi at the Dance Asia Festival, the first street dance festival organized by the Japan Foundation Asia Center in Vietnam. In this week's segment of On the Mic, we will meet with the group leader and the choreographer of Korea Live to see what they have for the local audience.
Memorable moment, an expressionistic jazz dance company headed by Kaori Alive, a leading Japanese choreographer. The group creates performances with the power of expression that only true talent brings, wowing audiences with the unisons, unique choreography and worldly approach. The group's well-honed sensitivity and flexible bodies create a vibe that evolves each day, gaining them worldwide recognition. Vietnam is the first country that Memorable Moment has toured as a group, performing at the Dance Asia event organized by the Japan Foundation Center.
Hello and thank you for being on the mic segment. Dance Asia is the first street dance event organized by the Japan Foundation. So what are you hoping to bring across to the Vietnamese audience this time?
To prepare for the concert in Vietnam, we have to build a 30-minute dance repertoire, and the message in it is that people cannot live alone. We have to live in a community. However, each member of the audience can have a different interpretation of the work. Some would say it is easy to understand or vice versa. You know, dancing can convey information and messages without the use of words. That is what we want to convey to Vietnamese audiences, as well as audiences worldwide.
We live in a fast-paced time with overflowing streams of information. You can wash away these current datas, but people cannot live in solitude. That was the message Memorable Moment instilled in the Hanoi audience during their performance last week. Their performance had the audience convinced about both their skills and passions.
Em cảm thấy thứ nhất điều là phải nhảy là phải đam mê. Em cảm thấy là các nghệ sĩ ở đây thực sự là đam mê và cảm thấy lúc mà nhảy họ free luôn, không có gì là gò bó cả. Cảm giác em thấy cái đầu tư cũng như là cái sự niềm đam mê của cả nhóm, họ hòa thành một, với cả họ kể một câu chuyện thông qua cái màn biểu diễn của họ. Em cảm thấy rất là ấn tượng với cả màn biểu diễn thứ hai.
The group takes the audience on a journey and empowers them with a heartfelt dance style, at the same time bringing jazz dancing closer to the Vietnamese audience.
Jazz dancing is not very popular in Vietnam, so what do you think Vietnamese jazz dancers should do to bring this art closer to the Vietnamese audience?
今日のワークショップを見て、すごいやっぱり
Based on our performance, you can see the foundation of our dance group is jazz dancing. But I started out as a hip-hop dancer. I have learned different types of dancing, including contemporary dance. But I do not think the style is important. Vietnamese dancers need to have as much experience in as many dance genres as possible. Based on these skills, they can create their own style to best express their personalities. We have created our own style based on that.
いろんなものをいっぱい吸収して、それを自分の体で
The group hosted a workshop to share their skills and knowledge with Vietnamese dancers. Amazement and laughter filled the room as the members of the group danced and played with local dancers. Some even traveled thousands of miles from Ho Chi Minh City to join the group in Hanoi because it was too good an opportunity for them to miss.
Những người ở trong ngành nghề này không thể nào không biết cái tin thật sự rất là hot là họ tới Việt Nam. Chính vì vậy là bọn mình cảm thấy là bỏ công sức và máy bay để ra Hà Nội là hoàn toàn xứng đáng.
Em cực kỳ thích thái độ của họ khi mà họ gặp cho tụi em, họ không giống như là không có khoảng cách. Họ workshop với danh nghĩa là free và họ chỉ rất là tận tình. Họ xem tụi em giống như là những người học sinh ở bên Nhật của họ.
The group member was able to use jazz movements to bridge the culture gap between the two nations' dancers. At this workshop, the only language spoken was the language of dance.
Through the workshop with the local dancers, what do you think about their skills, and is there any chance for future collaboration?
Before the workshop, I did a bit of research and found out that there are not many dance studios in Vietnam. When I met the dancers at the workshop, I knew that most of them have learned and practiced on their own. I'm very impressed with their ability. These dancers have great enthusiasm and passion under the circumstances. For them, this workshop is a rare opportunity to learn, so they have tried their best to get as much out of it as possible. I really admire that. Memorable Moment was established 3 years ago following a dance competition. We wanted to participate in the competition, so that is why we set up this dance group. The members include students and dancers with similar styles to us. The group has 8 female and 2 male dancers. We call ourselves Memorable Moment because we want to give the audience the most memorable moment at our shows. We want to leave a lasting impression of our audience. We think of it as our mission.
memorable moment っていうのはこうダンスで見てる人
Their masterpiece No War was awarded top prize as well as the Judge Award at the Legend Tokyo Chapter 4 event. Appearing for the first time as a Japanese team, the repertoire also won 3rd prize at the World of Dance Los Angeles competition in 2013.
Your performance, No War, was awarded top prize in the Legend Tokyo Chapter 4. So what was so special about that performance?
もう本当にシンプルで平和をすごい望んでいて
It was a great success for us, and our message is simple enough. We want peace and no war. War and killing people are something people need to stop in this world. We use the language of dance to convey this message.
そういう状態が続いているからやっぱり私ができることは
Now you've made the group known to Japanese and international audience. So what is next on your agenda?
I do hope we will have more success and become a well-known dance group in the world, even taking part at the Olympics. It will help us convey the message of peace to audience worldwide.
Thank you for being on the show, and I hope you will enjoy your time here in Vietnam.
Through their motto, follow your instinct, trust yourself, they have created memorable moments for Vietnamese audiences.
Vietnamese audiences this week have had the chance to experience Mary Shelley's classic novel Frankenstein in a way that is far from polished, a fast-paced, action-packed comedy which strikes with drama and gothic horror. That is how audiences and critics have described the latest adaptation titled Frankenstein, the Monster and the Myth by the American drama group in Europe. Let's now find out more about this stage play and how it has captivated audiences here in Hanoi.
Throw the switch!
A young science student puts together a creature in a strange experiment. The monster, made of dead body parts, is sentient yet hideous.
It's alive! I did it! I did it!
But this is not your typical horror story.
Beginning of his new life. We can have life.
It's got slapstick humor, a lot of action, and gothic drama.
I've learned to respect my strange life.
Directed by Paul Stebbings from TNT Theatre Britain, Frankenstein, the Monster and the Myth takes inspiration from both Mary Shelley's novel and Hollywood adaptations.
He takes a lot of text directly from Shelley, but then he also took a lot of inspiration from the comedy film, because if you've already been inspired by something, why not be inspired by what has already been inspired? It is the eclectic nature of art, and it is the specific gift of theatre.
There's lots of different styles, so at times it's ridiculously comical and physical, but then towards the end it's really high drama and it gets serious. So both scales of melodrama, I think.
One special thing about this production is that the cast is minimal, with only 4 actors. George McLean, who plays the sinister gravedigger Igor, also assumes a handful of other roles. The quick costume change is one of the tricky parts here.
This is a poor old character, and I'm about to change very quickly into a female character, and it goes like this. You get to change your body and you get to change your voice and you can do all sorts of different things. And so it is difficult, but it's a lot of fun.
And fun is highly contagious, as evident in the response of the audiences.
I didn't expect it to be so funny. We thought it would be a little bit more of a serious adaptation, but it was great to see all of the comedy from the different actors.
I know the story because I'm a teacher and I've taught Frankenstein for 3 years, but I love the way they did that. It was very professional, highly entertaining, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Coming to Hanoi this time, the cast of Frankenstein also performed at the United Nations International School and shared some of their tips and experiences in stage acting with the students there. Gareth Fordred plays the iconic character of Frankenstein's monster. It's a quite challenging role, partly because of the creature's voice and body movements. Using one's body more expressively while storytelling is also exactly what he shared with a theatre class at the United Nations International School.
The open exercises were just to get them used to taking instructions from me and sort of working as a group with a common goal, which is all that a theatre company is really, just working as a group for a common goal. And then the basics of storytelling, telling them a story and then them having to repeat it back to me, which they did perfectly. They got all of the detail. They're quite uninhibited, I thought, actually, compared to kids that I've worked with.
The workshop was really different. In drama class, normally we go off and do our own sort of group activities and we come back, but this one we worked together and we were given a limited amount of time to do certain things, as you saw. So that was like really interesting, and we've never done anything, so it was also a little bit scary.
Following their shows and workshops in Hanoi, the cast of Frankenstein are performing twice in Ho Chi Minh City before heading to Cambodia and wrapping up their 6-month international tour.
You were hungry.
And that is the end of our program. If you would like to provide feedback or comment on anything here on Culture Mosaic, please feel free to email to us at culturemosaic@vtv.vn and make sure to include your name and address. You can also log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our program. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic, and goodbye for now.